In this tutorial, you will learn how to create simple cloze exercises in Hot Potatoes, where learner's task is to fill in the blanks. First of all, you should always have an individual folder created for your exercise. It's not a must, but it's a good habit to keep things organized. In my folder right now, I have a special folder for my exercise that I'm going to create. Right now, I have a text file and an MP3 file with an audio recording. As you can see in my file, I have instructions in English and the text in Russian. When you start the Hot Potatoes, select JCloze. When the working window will open, I suggest that the first thing you do is save this file as something you will recognize. Go to File, Save As, select the folder where you want to save it. I will call it My Family Exercise. Click Save. What you have saved now is the Hot Potatoes internal file that you always can access if you need to make some changes. You will see it in your folder as myfamilyexercise.jcl. Now when you have the file saved, let's open our Word document again and copy the title and the text into these fields. Now highlight the word that needs to be replaced with a gap and click on the Gap button. As you can see, another window will open. Here you will see the correct answer, and you also can see a field where you can add a clue or a hint to help the learner to get to the correct answer. You can also add alternative correct answers if your exercise allows for that. In my case, I do not want to be adding any clues or alternative correct answers, so I just click OK. Now I will just keep adding gaps to my exercise. Now I have all the gaps that I need. When you are done adding gaps to your exercise, go to Options, Configure Output. You will see that Hot Potatoes has a lot of pre-specified instructions and designs that you can use. But you can always change it to fit your own needs. For example, I would like to change the instructions for my exercise here. First of all, I would like to change the beginning of the instructions. I go back to my Word file and copy my own instructions. Also, since I did not include any clues, I will delete this line. I also would like to change some options for feedback. For example, under Feedback tab, I would like to change the feedback for the correct answer to the Russian version. In this exercise, I would like to leave the rest in English, but if I want to, I can change them all to Russian. Under the Buttons tab, I can decide which buttons to use. For example, if you do not want your students to have a hint or a clue button, you can simply uncheck these fields here. I do not have any clues in my exercises, so I will have it unchecked. However, I would like to keep the hint button. When students click on the hint button, it gives them the first letter of the word that they need to type in. Now, if you have several exercises connected, you can include the next exercise or go to Contents button. In my case, I only want this one exercise, so I will uncheck these fields. Again, if you would like to, you can change the names of the buttons to Russian. Now under the Appearance tab, you can change the colors of your navigation window. For example, I would like to change the color of the title to blue. You will see the changes right here. Another thing I would like to change is to change navigation bar color to another shade of blue. Under the Timer tab, you can set a time limit for this exercise. I do not want to use this option here, so I just leave it as is. Now these are all the changes that I want to have here. So when I'm done, I could simply click OK. Or if you want to use a similar configuration setting for other cloze exercises, you can save this setting in your folder. That's what I want to do this time. I will save it as my JCloze configuration. And now I will click Save. Click OK to confirm all the changes. Click Save to save your exercise. Now all we need to do is to produce this exercise into an HTML file. For that, all we need to do is to click File, Create Web Page, Standard Format, or simply click F6 button on your keyboard. You can keep the suggested name for your HTML file, or you can create a new one. Remember that when creating names for web pages, it's better to keep them as one word. If you have several words, you can string them together, like I have here, or you can connect them with an underscore. Click Save. Now you can view the exercise in your browser. On some computers, the system will block some of the Hot Potatoes content. Warn your students that they should always allow blocked content for it to work properly. So here is our exercise. When the student fills out all the gaps, all they need to do is to click the check button for them to receive feedback. Now let's see what other options we can have with this exercise. First of all, I would like to create a similar exercise but add an audio file with the text. Right now, I will save this file as a new exercise type, and I would call it My Family Exercise Audio. You remember that in my folder I have an audio file with the text already prepared. All I need to do is to add this audio file to my exercise. I would like to add my audio file right before the text. I will put my cursor right before the text. I go to Insert and I click on Media Object. Click on Browse to select your media file. The system will warn you that the file should be saved in the same location as your exercise. Here is my audio file, so I just select it and click Open. You also need to add an audio player to play this file. You can add all four, or you can add just one, depending on your preferences. For an MP3 file to play on most computers, I'll add a QuickTime player. When done, click OK. You will see this code right in your text, but let's see what happens when you produce it. Save it, File, Create Web Page, Produce, and I will call this one My Family Exercise Audio. Click Save. Again, allow blocked content, and you will see that this time I have my audio file right here.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Мария. Я живу в Москве.
The students can play this audio file and fill in the blanks with the words that they hear. Now, I want to change something else about this exercise to make it more user-friendly for my students. For example, not all students might have a Russian keyboard installed on their computers. There are two ways to help them in this situation. Option 1 is to include the Cyrillic letters right into the exercise. To do that, go to Options, Configure Output. Here, click on the Other tab. Under this tab, check the field that is called Include a Keypad to help the student type non-Roman characters. All letters that the student needs to complete this exercise will be automatically added to the exercise window. If you want to, you can include some other characters that should be included on the keypad. When done, click OK, save your exercise, and let's see how it will look. Again, I will save it as a different file, call it with alphabet. When you view the exercise in your browser, you will see that this time students have the options of just clicking on the letter to add it. Another option to make it easier for students to add their answers is to provide a drop-down menu of choices. To do that, again, go to Options, Configure Output. Right now I'm gonna unclick a keypad option and click Use drop-down list instead of text box in Output. Again, the system will automatically include all possible choices for the students. Let's see how it will look like. You will see that they will have all choices for each blank. That's all you need to know about creating simple fill-in-the-blanks exercises with Hot Potatoes. For more information and more tutorials, you can go to the Hot Potatoes website. You can access the tutorials right from the Help menu. Thank you for your attention. In this tutorial, you will learn how to add a stress sign to Cyrillic words in Microsoft Word. In this tutorial, you will learn how to add a stress sign to Cyrillic words in Microsoft Word. In this tutorial, you will learn how to add and format tables in Microsoft Word. In this tutorial, you will learn how to add clip art pictures to your documents in Microsoft Word. In this tutorial, you will learn how to add organizing graphics from Smart Art in Microsoft Word. In this tutorial, you will learn how to create simple close exercises in Hot Potatoes, where learners